Welcome to another episode of Dox'n Reality, and I'm your host, Mr. Paradox. How many of y'all have watched that show, House of Cards? Excuse me, I just, had some. I forget which season it was. I think it was season 4 or 5. And spoiler alert. Are you gone? If you're still here, the story's about to be spoiled for you. Okay, if you're still here, it's on you. Now I forget which season. I think it was 4 or 5. But uh, there was an episode with President Francis Underwood was undergoing some sort of impeachment or in process of he was about to be removed from power. But all of a sudden, war breaks out. And then this happens to be the main plot of the movie Wag the Dog, which came out in 96. Wag the Dog. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just put y'all on game with that. Let's see. It came out in 97. Yeah, stars Dustin Hoffman, Robert De Niro, Spin Doctor. Hmm, that's actually a real thing. Okay, the plot of this movie screenplay centers on a spin doctor and a Hollywood producer who fabricate a war in Albania to distract voters from a presidential sex scandal. This came out in 97, and who was president in 1997? I'm just saying, I say all that to get to this point. Beware of trap. Iranian, I'm not sure, I'm from some minister, wants Trump Israeli agents are preparing attacks on U.S. forces in Iraq to spark war against Iran, pretty much. Huh. And they've been trumpeting a war for quite some time. We see it in the news. Last year started off with an assassination on what was it, Khalim or Soleimani or whoever. Yeah, Iranian general. Everybody thought that was about to spark World War III. Mm. So why are they so hell bent on going to war with Iran? I think Iran is one of those only countries left without a central bank. The powers that be do not like that because them holding out on their own without a central bank is showing resistance to their, to their authority, to their prestige and all that shit. And they can't have that because other countries might see that and start to break away. Like what happened in Libya. Gaddafi was about to break away from the U.S. dollar and replace it with the gold dinar or gold dinar, African money, and was trying to unite all of Africa to do the same thing. United States said, "Fuck that shit, hell no." Came up in there, and started a resurrection. They killed him, put that shit live on camera as a message to the rest of the world. Like, try this shit again, and this is what happens. Anyway, let's read the story. Ah, Iranian Foreign Minister Mohan Javad Zarif has accused Israel of plotting false flags attack on Americans in Iraq in a bid to frame Iran and prompt Washington to start an all-out war with Tehran. Now, in the coming months, if this happens, remember you heard this here first. Zarif on Saturday tagged Donald Trump on Twitter, the president's media of choice, as he repeated the claim of a false flag plot. New intelligence from Iraq indicate that Israel agent provocateurs are plotting attacks against Americans, putting an outgoing Trump in a bind with a fake casus belli. I don't know what the fuck that. I know that's a Roman term from Roman law, but I don't know what the fuck that means. The foreign minister then warned Trump against falling for the alleged Israeli plot. He said that any hostilities against Tehran will backfire not only for Washington but also for its chief ally in the Middle East. Why the fuck are we friends with Israel? Like, what the fuck do we get out of helping them? They are a tiny country. They what the fuck do we get out of sending them a couple of $1 billion in aid? Sending them relief packages. We're friends with a small little dirt country in the it's not even the Middle East. The only reason it's called Middle East is because the Britons somehow how they view going to the other side of Asia or something like that. That's a Anglo-Saxon term, Middle East, but we're just gonna call it North Africa. And I don't even like calling it Africa because that's not the original name. It was that name was installed there by some Roman general or emperor or some shit like that. I don't know. Let's see. Be careful of a trap, Mr. President. Any fireworks will backfire badly, particularly against your same BFFs. Uh, I'm just saying that's big words considering y'all didn't do shit. After Soleimani got blown up. Just saying. Iran's top diplomat first brought up the topic of an allegedly impending false flag earlier this week. Isn't it funny how countries can assassinate other countries, diplomats and all that, but then they have people up in there to speak on behalf of them, such and such, in the same room, like it's all good. And it's not the people, the leaders that die. It's all the people on the ground, that they're just trying to working at wherever they're working at in order to make ends meet. They have to go fight for these people in positions of power just because they have a disagreement. The people who have the disagreement directly never fight each other. They don't even talk to you. They could just end that shit with a simple phone call. Hmm. On Thursday, he revealed Tehran had received a tip about such a plan brewing from Iraqi intelligence. While Zarif did not name a culprit behind the alleged plot, the tone of his message suggested that the U.S. itself was actively seeking a pretext for war with Iran. He scolded Trump for flying B 52s and sending armadas to the Gulf region instead of fighting COVID in the U.S. Mm. Assassinating foreign leaders is a U.S. Israeli trademark. Iran denies the fake news alleging that Rouhani's death threat against Trump. Hmm. They're not wrong about that. I have books detailing U.S. Um, plots against democratically elected leaders in South America. Ah. Hmm. The already hostile relations between Tehran and Washington have reached a boiling point recently due to the upcoming anniversary of the U.S. assassination of Qasem Soleimani, the late Iranian general and leader of the elite Quds force within the country's. Too many of these goddamn. Too many words. Y'all could just cadets have this shit. Was killed in a drone strike outside Baghdad on January 3rd last year. Oh, it's a year later. While Iran retaliated shortly after attack by striking several military installations housing U.S. troops in Iraq, it has repeatedly pledged to extract further revenge on the Americans. Late in December, shortly after a rocket attack on the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, Trump vowed to hold Iran responsible for the potential death of any American in Iraq. Like, well, what the fuck sense does that make? You kill one of their generals, so they hit back, and now you're saying you're responsible for this shit. We're gonna kill you. Like, bitch, you started this shit though. Like, you come over here picking a fight with me, and I'm supposed to just take that shit lying down. Fuck you. Iran's top officials openly cheered Trump's election defeat in November, with Hassan Rouhani stating that his U.S. counterpart was just days apart from going into the dustbin of history. These niggas are petty, bruh. These niggas are petty. Anyway, like I said, if we go into a war with Iran, it'll be because of a false flag. They never do these shit on anything real. It's always something made up. It's never real. So You heard it here first. And this camera's like starting to lag and whatnot. But that's all I got for this chronicle right here. So leave a like, share, and just engage with the content. And Mr. Paradox over and out.